Welcome to Addicted to Watches. Today it's a little bit different. We're not doing a review because we have something much more fun to do. What we have today doesn't actually fit in the whole screen, but what we have is a box. And this box is from Japan and filled with, you guessed it, watches. So what we're going to do is we're going to open her up and have a look at what's inside. So before we do, I just want to do a quick shout out to my good friend Jackie Kennedy, who is a pro wrestler in Japan and made getting this box to me possible. I'll leave a link to his X or his Twitter down in the description below. So if you're interested in pro wrestling or just want to see some good pics, go and check it out. Thanks again, Jackie. Okay, so this isn't really gonna fit on the table here, so what I'll do is I'll open it up but then move it off screen so that we can get a good look at what we're all here for, which is the watches, not the box. So in this box there should be a little over 10 or 12 watches, and of course, being from Japan, most of them are Japanese watches. However, not all of them. There are a couple of other ones, so let's take a peek inside. Okay, so first in the box we have another box. And as you can see, this one says Casio. Now, the watch in this box isn't particularly special, but the price kind of was. You see, this one is one of their, there it is, one of their LF20 models, and they are available here in Sydney, of course. They're available pretty much everywhere these days. However, when I bought this one in Japan from Amazon brand new, it was less than 4,000 yen. So with the exchange rate at the moment, that works out to be 40 Australian dollars and maybe 25 US dollars. So a really good price for this one, and I'd always been curious about it. So I thought I'd pick it up. This one, I believe, is the ivory color, and it's a bit more off-white than white, which I will admit I was kind of hoping for. So, pretty happy with that one. That's a solid looking instruction manual, which I'll probably never read. If we dig around in the box some more, we have this wrapped up in paper, which in turn is wrapped up in bubble wrap. And if we pull this one out, we can see a pretty simple but pretty attractive little Seiko. So this is from their, I believe, SUR series. However, this one was a European only edition. And one of the standouts of these models is that it actually has sapphire crystal rather than mineral. It's a very simple design and dial with no text below the pinion, but that's kind of nice. It just keeps it straightforward and is a little bit reminiscent of even the Grand Seiko course models, which don't have anything down below the pinion either. So, as with probably all the other watches in the box, you can expect to see a review of this one sometime. And yeah, for now, this one's pretty nice. Finishing is not too bad either, there's brushing and polishing. And that second hand hits some of the markers. Watch number 2. Okay, going further in, we have another watch, or another bag, but inside that bag is another watch. And this one is an interesting one. This one is from their Seiko's SUS or SUS series, and integrated bracelet chronograph, but the dial layout is quite interesting with that vertical stack of the subdials, and there is that little running seconds on the side there, but with 4 pushes as well. I thought this one was quite an interesting looking watch, so I thought I'd pick it up and check it out. From what I can tell, it's a slightly older model and they don't make it anymore, but there were quite a few other watches in this range. Some triple calendar ones as well, which were quite interesting. But yeah, this one, like that one, has a sunburst silver dial. So we've got a theme going so far, but as we get into it, we'll see another theme emerging. On to the next one. And we have a Seiko box. Not very surprising there. But what's inside the box? So this one is actually a very special Seiko. So special, in fact, it doesn't actually have a model number. So what you might notice about this one is that it looks very similar to the Tic Tac limited edition ones, especially with the case and the dial. However, the color is a bit different because that was offered in a black, silver, green and blue, but this is more of a ivory dial. And this one was actually only offered to the factory workers for the 150th anniversary of the factory. So you can see on the case back there, sorry, not the 150th, just the 50th. But this one wasn't available to the general public. So this one's got quite an interesting story, and I'll be interested to learn a bit more about that one as I work on a video for it. Watch number 4. And watch number 5 is wrapped up in some newspaper, very unceremoniously. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, this one is a little beat up, but it's just a simple chronograph. It has, I believe, the 7B series movement chronograph. There are a couple of marks on the crystal and the bezel is seen somewhere, but I think it'll make a good beater watch. Something that you can throw around and not worry too much about. So I thought I'd grab it, and I believe it's from their collection. There's a specific collection. Anyway, I have done a review on the ice blue version of this with the black bezel. However, this obviously is the black dial with the stainless bezel. Watch number 5. If we make our way further down the box, we have another box. But inside that box, we have another Casio. And for some reason, came in a different box. However, happens to be another one of the LF20 watches. Because, like I said, the price was so good, I figured I would get the grey and the ivory. Then I could choose the one I like the most. So, we have our second Casio and our second square watch. And again, that one came in at less than 4,000 yen, just under, so a very good price for that one, I thought. Back in the box, and we have some more bubble wrap, which is containing a watch. So let's get into that one. And this one, we get a peek at, is very similar actually to this one here, you might notice. These two do have a lot in common. Their cases appear to be the same, and so probably that bracelet will fit as well. However, this one is from their regular range, which has the model SZSB, I believe. And a similar dial, but you'll notice it lacks the detail in the minute track that the other one has. And this one is obviously second-hand, which is perfectly fine. But again, this is another series from Seiko's JDM range that I had been curious about, and now I have the chance to take a look at it. So that is watch number 7. We do have a few more to go. So let's keep it going with this one here. And this is one that the packaging might fool you into thinking is not much of a watch at all. However, it's one I was very excited about because what we have is a Credor. I've had a Credor on the channel before with the Pacifique model, but I didn't hang on to that one for as long as I thought I might. So when I saw this one, I picked it up, thinking that maybe I will. One thing I really like about the Credor models is the clasp. It's milled, but it's still very thin and unobtrusive on wrist. And it has this cutout in the outer shell which lets the branding show through, which is something I really like. But yeah, this one is just quite a strong sunburst dial, but pretty plain and simple, and hopefully one that flies a bit under the radar. So we'll put that with our other 2 square watches over there. And that is watch number 8. Next up we have a black box, not a regular Seiko box. And that is because inside is probably not another Seiko. And it's a strap, but it's not the strap I'm interested in here. It is this. So this is a Hamilton, but not just any Hamilton. This one you can see down there is a limited edition, and this one was made in collaboration with Nano Universe. We've seen a few Seiko collaborations with Nano Universe that have done really well and have had really interesting designs, and I think this is another one. It's kind of a mix between maybe a khaki field and something like a black bay with the kind of gilt Photina markings, and it has a really nice 38mm case size. So this is one I was definitely really looking forward to getting, and especially on this bracelet, because a lot of the ones that I saw were available were on leather straps, so this will be nice to have and to check out. Watch number 9. Next of which is wrapped in this bubble wrap, and you get a little glimpse of it here. And this is a little vintage quartz Seiko from the Silver Wave line, and it's a bit of two-tone. It's a bit of almost Cartier tank, and it's just a little charming watch. And I saw it, the design was quite interesting, and I thought I'd grab it. So that then continues our little collection of squares over here. We've got 4 now, but we're not done yet. Because next up we have this very interesting looking logo on this white box, and this is from a French brand called Lip, or at least I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced. And in this box was another watch that I had my eye on for a little while, and was surprised to find it in Japan of all places. However, what it should be is more or less a reverso alternative without the reverso, if that makes sense. It's sort of got that classic square design, small seconds, and just a very nice looking, again under the radar, square watch. So I said that there was a theme for this box, and it kind of ended up being pretty square. That one was another one that I was quite looking forward to getting my hands on, so it's nice to finally have it. we are coming to the end of the box, but we're not done just yet, because we have another Seiko box. But this isn't just any Seiko box, it's a Seiko Astron box. I have had an Astron on the channel already. However, its box wasn't quite like this one. It just came in a regular Seiko box. This one, however, is hiding something a little bit different. So this one has just come to life thanks to the lights next to the camera, so we can watch it set itself. But this is another, excuse me, another Seiko Astron that is, that doesn't have the GPS module. Instead, it just has a radio wave module inside, but shares a lot of other similarities, such as the complicated subdials, the titanium construction, the slightly larger than average size, but it kind of treads the line of busy but not too busy. And I think the functions on this one will actually be quite useful. So I thought I'd grab this one with the red accents on the black dial because it looked rather nice. And so we have here watch number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Watch number 12. If you thought we were all done with those, you're almost right. We are almost done, but we have one watch left to look at. And that watch comes in this canvas bag. Now it's pretty clear here that this watch is from Kuoe, the microbrand from Kyoto that does a lot of vintage inspired, usually military, but also dress watches. And when I say vintage inspired, I mean they go all the way, even down to the case size in most cases. So this one is no different to that, with a pretty diminutive case size that we'll see once I get it out of the bag. Oh, here we go. Brand logo on the front. And a nice little instructions or warranty card in there. And underneath that is a very nice looking field watch. This one is in the ivory dial, which we have another ivory dial on the table already. But yeah, this is one from a brand that I've also had my eye on for quite a while and wanted to get my hands on, but to get it outside of Japan can tend to be something of an expensive quest to go on. However, I found this one for a reasonable price, second-hand, and the condition is not terrible. Could probably use a bit of a clean-up though. But it's just a simple, vintage-inspired, vintage-sized field watch. So I'm looking forward to checking that one out too. The last thing in that box is a mesh bracelet. Although I do kind of like it on that army green NATO strap, so that's probably where it will stay for the most part. And that finally brings us to the end of the box. So all up we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 watches in the box. Mostly Japanese, but not all of it is. We've got a bit of Swiss, and probably surprisingly, a bit of French as well. Although, admittedly, the rest is Japanese and mostly Seiko. But if you've watched my channel for any amount of time, you probably know that's the case already. So, I've got a lot to get through. Is there one you want to see reviewed first? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time.